The numbers are in, and they are absolutely devastating for the Democrat Party. A brand new national poll just dropped showing President Trump's approval surpassing even his election victory margin. And if you know your history, you know exactly what that means for the upcoming 2026 midterms. The Democrats certainly do, and they're panicking. But that's not even the worst of it for them, because not only is Trump surging, Democrats are hemorrhaging their own elected officials. More and more Democrat politicians across the country are abandoning their sinking ship and switching to the Republican Party. You are not going to want to miss this. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, enjoying yet another wonderful day in Trump's golden age that you made possible back on November the 5th. So if you want a front row seat on how you continue to change the world in ways you never even imagined, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Insider Advantage, one of the most accurate pollsters in American politics, just released a national survey of 800 likely voters conducted between February 17th and 18th, showing President Trump at 50% approval and just 46% disapproval. That's a net positive 4-point approval rating, and it means Trump's approval now exceeds his actual election victory margin from November of 2024. Now, this poll is nearly identical to the latest from Rasmussen. Their polling, also likely voters, has Trump at 49% approval. Again, a very, very high approval rating after a year in his presidency. Now, here's why this number is so historically significant. If you look at the data going back to 1946, so that's 20 midterm elections over 80 years, the pattern is unmistakable. When a president's approval rating is at or above 50% heading into the midterms, his party either gains seats or, at the very least, holds losses to the bare minimum. So let me give you the highlights there. In 1962, JFK was at 61% approval. The Democrats lost only 4 House seats and actually gained 3 Senate seats. In 1998, Bill Clinton was at 65% approval. The Democrats gained 5 House seats. And in 2002, George W. Bush was at 67% approval after 9/11. Republicans gained 8 House seats and 2 Senate seats. So those are the only 2 times in 80 years that a president's party actually gained seats at the midterm. And in both cases, approval was well above 50%. Now, given the radical polarization that's beset our nation over the last decade, it's nearly impossible for a president of any party to reach 60% approval rating today. But the pattern is pretty clear. Hit that magic 50%, and your party is going to crush it in the midterms. At the very least, it's going to hold its losses to their bare minimum. The president's job approval rating really is one of the strongest, most accurately predictive indicators for how the midterms play out. So the bottom line is clear. If Trump can sustain that 50% number, and I believe he will, especially with the economy beginning to take off, the historical data says Republicans are in for a very strong showing and may even possibly expand their majority in 2026. That's the Democrats' worst nightmare. And it's not just the top line approval that's killing the Democrats. It's the issue-by-issue breakdown. Now, we talked yesterday about the latest Morning Consult poll that just dropped. Remember, Morning Consult polls are notoriously left-wing. But take a look at these numbers. When voters are asked which party they trust more to handle the biggest and most important issues facing this country, Republicans dominate across the board on the things that matter most to everyday Americans. So national security, it's Republicans up by 10. Immigration, Republicans by 8. The national debt, trade and taxes, all Republican by 5. Foreign policy, Republican by 4. And the economy, again, the single most important issue in virtually every midterm elections, Republicans leading by 1. And again, I think that lead's going to continue to grow as the economy continues to take off. National security, immigration, the economy, the debt, trade, taxes, Those are the issues that decide elections, especially midterms, when the party that owns the top of mind issues ends up doing the best. And make no mistake, for Democrats who've been hoping beyond hope for a blue wave coming in 2026, I mean, this latest Morning Consult poll is a nightmare. This is absolutely devastating for the left. It makes crystal clear that voters want secure borders, they want a strong economy, they want safe streets, they want law and order on every one of those key kitchen table bread and butter issues. They trust Republicans overwhelmingly more so than Democrats. And so is it any wonder that there are generic ballot polls showing that the Republicans are actually ahead of the Democrats going into the midterms? Case in point, this is the latest from RMG. RMG was one of the better pollsters of 2024. I mean, look at this. The Republicans are actually leading Democrats by 2 points, 47 to 45. I mean, that's a literal nightmare scenario for the Democrats. And the TIP poll, TIPP, they have the Democrats up by only 3. That's nowhere near good enough for them to make substantial national gains. They need to be up at least 6 or 7 nationally for them to have a chance at anything substantial in the midterms. But here's the thing. These numbers are not just theoretical. They're actually playing out in real time right now on the ground across the country, because elected Democrats are now abandoning their own party at a rate we haven't seen in years. Wait until you see this. Now, did you know that Alzheimer's isn't waiting for old age anymore? It's spreading, it's accelerating, and it's showing up decades earlier. Early onset dementia and Alzheimer's are on the rise. Reports show a 373% increase in diagnoses among 30 to 44-year-olds and a 311% increase in 45 to 54-year-olds in the United States in recent years. But when doctors attempt to treat these brain diseases, they often focus on medicating the brain itself, addressing symptoms like Band-Aid rather than solving the root cause. Alzheimer's disease is driven by chronic inflammation and oxidative stress, which damages brain cells and triggers the buildup of toxic proteins. Now, these same destructive processes fuel neurodegeneration, cognitive decline, and even increase cancer risk, yet they're rarely the primary target of treatment. The root cause of many brain disorders is found in the gut microbiome. Groundbreaking research now links gut bacteria directly to Alzheimer's disease and shows that what we consume plays a defining role in not just cognitive, but overall health as well. Numerous studies suggest that the number one thing you can do to combat these chronic diseases is to consume kimchi. There's so many bioactive compounds in kimchi that have been found to improve cognitive and memory function by targeting amyloid beta. That's the main sign of Alzheimer's disease that forms those sticky plaques in the brain. Notably, these same protective mechanisms are linked to reduced cancer risk with kimchi's ability to suppress carcinogen activating enzymes. So that's why Brightcore created Kimchi One. It delivers all the benefits of real kimchi in convenient capsules. No taste, no smell, and no GMO. 100% made right here in the United States. Today, you can get an exclusive offer by clicking the link below for 25% off your entire order, or for the best deal available, call my friends at Brightcore for up to 50% off plus free shipping. You'll love them. Call them now at 888-597-0233. That's 888-597-0233. Call them right now. Now, those poll numbers that we just walked through are translating into real-world political realignment on the ground, because elected Democrats are now abandoning their own party at an accelerating rate. And the reasons they're giving they're virtually identical every single time. The Democrat Party's been hijacked by the radical far left fringe. It no longer represents working class Americans, and they simply can't be a part of it anymore. So let's start in South Dakota, where State Representative Perry Poirier, a member of the Oglala Lakota tribe, who had served as a Democrat since 2019, she officially switched her voter registration to Republican back in September. Now, her switch, get this, left the South Dakota House with just 5 Democrats compared to 65 Republicans. 5. I mean, the Democrat Party in South Dakota is functionally extinct. And then there's the absolute tidal wave happening along the Texas border. Webb County Judge Tano Tejerina, the top elected official in the county that includes Laredo, went on Fox and Friends recently and announced he was switching from the Democrat Party to the Republican Party. And he specifically called out the Democrats on border security, on the oil and gas industry, and their abhorrent obsession with wokeness. And Tejerina isn't just some small town nobody. He's the executive of Webb County, a county that voted nearly 70% for Hillary Clinton in 2016, but swung over 50 points and voted for Trump in 2024. The political realignment along the southern border is absolutely historic. 14 out of 18 border counties in Texas voted for Trump in November, counties that were once considered unshakable Democrat strongholds for generations. And this is bigger than just Texas, because the same pattern is repeating everywhere. North Carolina, Katie Barr, a Democrat, who ran for state Senate in 2024. She's now switched her registration to Republican. And we've seen this cascade of defections throughout 2025 into 2026. The mayor of Garfield, New Jersey, he switched the Republican Party. The Alpine, New Jersey councilman Davy Kupferschmidt, he switched to the GOP and endorsed Jack Ciattarelli for governor, becoming the first Republican on the Alpine Council in more than 20 years. In Kentucky, one of their last state Senate Democrats switched the Republicans. And when you connect the dots, the picture simply could not possibly be more devastating for the Democrats. Trump at 50% approval in the Insider Advantage poll, as well as Rasmussen. Historical data showing that presidents around or above 50% hold or gain seats at the midterms. Republicans dominating on every major issue voters care about. Democrats an all-time low congressional approval. And elected Democrats from South Dakota to South Texas to New Jersey to North Carolina abandoning their own party because it's become, in their words, unrecognizable. The 2026 midterms are shaping up to be an extraordinary disappointment for the Democrats if this trajectory continues. And based on these numbers, based on this accelerating realignment, there's no sign they're changing course anytime soon. So what do you guys think? I want to hear from you. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. And as always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button for breaking news and analysis you're not going to get anywhere else. Love you guys. God bless.